Hello everyone, this is James at Prague. Welcome to SoulCARE. I'm listening to healing music, so come on in and listen. Receive this healing. Happy Easter, everybody. Happy spring. Happy flowers. I just finished yoga, so I'm in a yoga mood. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Beth. Hi, Trisha. Donna, Scott, Larry, Stacy, Lucretia, Geraldine. Hi. This is for you, this song. Let yourself receive. Instead of doing anything, just receive. Don't do anything but receive. Magda, beautiful spring flowers sending you healing. The universe sending you healing. Thank you, Adrian. I love having everybody here as a group. Look at the community we're creating. Yay, shine. Hola. So this is from a lady I know, named Monica, M-A-N-A-K-A from Hawaii. And if you go online, it's called Monica, M-A-N-A-K-A, Soul Remembrance. And this is her. Lovely girl. So she has some lovely music here, and I use a lot for my workshops, and she's just a lovely healer. So I was playing with that, and I thought we're going to go on, and I think everybody should hear that. So as I mentioned, this came from yoga, so I'm still in that lovely space. I turn my phone off for you guys. Okay. And it got me thinking before we came on today what to talk about and different things, and that helped me too. And just being mindful, just being aware of all the signs around us of the universe trying to get to us. And we just a reminder to you that you don't have to go so hard in your head, think, like that. You're thinking over too much thinking and analytical, and you use that, the left brain and just like, when really you are right brain. That's who you are. You're naturally a soul of love, an energy of love. It's all energy of love. But many times the critical mind gets in the way. And the critical mind is good to use for many things in life, but tuning into the world around you and to each other and to this human condition and to step back and be observant of the human condition. It's really important just to step back and be objective and not judgmental, because there's something judgmental. We sort of putting energy into a certain person for doing something, or a certain way something looks, or something said a certain way. That's judgmental. And I think that, and it's hard in this human condition, but as long as we remind ourselves that we don't have to be judgmental, we can step back and realize that everything's different here, that there are all different types of people, all different types of belief systems, all different types of artistic expressions, many types of things. I would say that the measuring stick, measuring rod, is if you don't hurt people, don't degrade or demean people, and it's always about bringing people up, supporting people, not denigrating, but bringing people up, always, no matter what it is. And I find that you can't be judgmental or really angry about the person per se, but perhaps the act that they're engaged in, but not the person, not the soul, but the act. I might not agree with that. So pay attention to be more mindful of everything. Working today with my breath in yoga, it's just so lovely to take that breath and work through the body and become aware of how that breath nurtures and feeds every cell, every muscle, every fiber of the being of this vessel, and the bloodstream. It creates a beautiful oxygen through the bloodstream, and the heart beats this beautiful, lovely um, uh, blood coming in. So I think that uh, I think the more aware we are of the subtlety, if you will, of energies, and is really most important. Everything is subtle, as the breath is very subtle, but all of that subtlety is feeling that sense of connection. And I often point out in the analogy I like to use, especially when doing readings for mediumship, and it can go with any field really, but mediumship, especially when I work with students who say, I need to get a message, I need to get this in there, I need to get it be black and white, I got to get the message. And say, if you try so hard and you overthink it and use that left brain trying to control it, you're not going to get anything. But if you just put your, it's like a feather coming down from the sky. If you go try to catch it, control it, it never will. The feather will go away. But if you just put your hand down, the palm out, the feather may come closer to you because of the gravity of the energy of your palm. So that's really the way it is, and life should be that way too. Observing, subtle. Don't push. As the Buddha say, the river has to flow. Watch the river flow. Can't control the flow. You just watch it flow because you can't do anything about it. Enjoy it. So anyway, that's I wanted to tell you. Talked about that today, and another thing happened at yoga, which I think everybody should maybe I could help you, remind you about. When we're doing our poses, all of a sudden, of course, the gardeners were going crazy next door and around the neighborhood, and you're hearing blowers, California, it's like blowers. And so I could have been very upset and changed the beautiful balance and the energy that I've created with the breath in the beginning by listening. I go, and I could go, oh, it's terrible, and get in the headspace of negativity and limitedness. Or I could use that sound to bring me deeper into the experience. So I've done that before in meditation. I've used that. I've worked together on cruise ships many times, and there have been times on a cruise ship I'm doing meditation, and there's noise from the upper decks and people, and I'll just say to my audience as I guide them, just listen to these outside noises, extemporaneous noises, which we have to be aware of because we're on a cruise ship. So you will hear different things. And just like being outside, you're going to hear outside noises like gardeners and blowers and cars and trucks and people talking. And that's okay. Just don't hold on to it. Just look at it and let it take you even deeper. Those sounds bring you deeper into the awareness of the centering of yourself. Deeper and deeper. Let it bring you deeper. Let it be a tool. So instead of pushing it away, bring it in. See, and it happens in all aspects of life. Okay, I'm going to answer some questions of yours, folks, and I have some news too. Okay, let's see. Oh, you're seeing the word flow. Very good. Brenda's seeing the word flow quite a lot. Very good, Brenda. It's great. Life is flowing. Remember, always flowing. I notice I'm seeing and hearing the word flow a lot everywhere. You just mentioned. So the word flow, just a reminder that everything's flowing. So now that you have that word, pay attention now. See how often you see it. Remember, life is about flowing, motion, movement. Life is all movement. It can't be stuck still. Can't be stagnant. Whether it's emotional body, physical body, mental, spiritual body, you don't want to stagnate. You want to always moving. Okay. Okay, good. Aries here. Hi, Robin. We couldn't miss you. Aries here. We got you. Happy birthday, love. Great. Bonnie Seville, do we have a choice to come back after we pass, or can we stay in heaven? You can stay anywhere you want, Bonnie. You have complete choice. So complete choice. So, when you pass over to the other side, there's an opening of expansion of consciousness of who you are as your true soul self. On this earth, we only get maybe 40% of who we really are, if that much. So when you're over there, you get more of an expansion of what your soul needs, what the greatest needs are for your soul to grow. and for your soul group's growth as well. I think that's what Denise. Hi, Denise. Liz wants to know: is there a difference between a dream and a visit? Yes, very much so. When you have a dream, how many people had dreams of loved ones? It's the number one way that the spirit people communicate with us is dreams. So they're able to come into our dreams because we're not controlling the consciousness. We're not controlling that space. We're open. We're also on the other side of life. Every night we go to bed, our soul leaves out of the body, the physical body, usually the crown chakra, and you go to the other realms, the other levels of consciousness, the spirit world, whatever you want to call it, heaven, and you see your loved ones very, very clearly, and you'll know it's like a crossing over. I call it a crossing over because it's so real, so vivid. So that's more vivid than a dream. Different types of dreams, but that is actually a communication. And I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. It was just funny. Vivid dreams where spirit people share insights and guidance, and you can use that. So that tells you that you're open to receiving. Remember, everybody's a soul. There's no reason why the spirit people cannot communicate with you. Everybody's a medium in their own right, because the only difference is we're souls incarnate in the body, and their souls outside the body. But a soul, in order for a soul in the spirit levels to communicate with you on this earthly level, they must slow down their energy to lower themselves, and me, the medium, must heighten ourselves, and then open ourselves up and be, if you will, surrender to whatever we hear, feel, and see. And the moment we get aware of it, we'll be able to have communication. Now, is everybody an incredible medium? No. There are some that are born with abilities, as myself and others, who can reach further, if you will. Born that way, I would say, just like concert pianists. Everybody's able to play the piano, but not everybody's a concert pianist. Same thing with mediumship. And you should be able to very easily hear from your family and friends because they know you. They have an awareness of yourself. So that would be easier for you in some respects, as long as you can separate the desire, the ego desire to speak to them from the spiritual. Yeah. Okay. Another question. Yes. Nazi Tabash, how do you know you have the right person at a reading when spirits reincarnate many times? Well, that's interesting, Nazi, because the soul does not, the soul, the personality that lived with this person on the earth, form that soul group, they stay in those levels till you come over, till your loved one comes over there. They wait for you till the whole soul group is together. So that personality that they would know from this life would stay there. It's too early. And they won't reincarnate until all the soul group is back, maybe 200 years. But that doesn't mean that there's another part of your soul which is living somewhere else right now. It happens. We're living in several places at once because there are spaces and places and worlds within worlds within worlds. Okay. Chris Pedersen, quick thoughts on receiving messages via dreams instead of the waking life. I suspect I don't receive messages and this is during waking hours due to trying to control things. Ding, 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 ding. Chris, you got it. Can you imagine if your life that you didn't have to control things? Oh, can you imagine how much lighter you'd feel? How much lighter your brain would feel? How much less stress you would have? I mean, it would affect every day of your life. It would affect every relationship of your life. It would affect how you think of yourself and the world you live in, your family. When we let go of control and we just let go and let God, we're all going to get out of it, one day. We're all going to die one day. We leave the body. We're all going to do that. And you can't control the people. You can't, as much as you try, Chris, and all the control freaks, the more you try to control your kids, your family, your friends, not going to happen. There'll be resistance, right? There'll be resistance because they're probably some control freaks that don't want to resist against you. So you can't control the people. You can't control their lives. The only thing you can control is how you respond to things. That you can control, whether it's setting boundaries up, whether it's learning to do something about your own self, realizing relationships has to be a certain way, whatever. You can control how you respond, but you can't control others. Big freedom in that. Okay. Beth Johnson, what lessons are learned by people suffering from mental illness? Well, Beth, it's hard to say. I mean, I don't think there's only one answer to that because, we're made up of a mental body, physical body, emotional body, and a spiritual body. And I don't know the reason. I don't know that answer, but I'm going to suggest hypothetically that each lifetime, I think, and I could be wrong, that we come back to work on different bodies, different lessons. And some of the bodies, sometimes we come back to work with the emotional body. So we'll go through love situations. Or a mental body might go through mental disease. Physical might go through physical disease or physical learnings. So mental illness, it could be many different things. It could be from karma, from a lifetime. It could be that soul has decided to take on that condition to teach others in its life and its soul groups, family and friends, how to love unconditionally, how to be patient, how to forgive. All different lessons are available there. So it's all different, and every soul takes on that condition for different reasons. See, so um, it's not one answer. And remember, the soul can never be harmed. So even though the makeup of the brain might be different or might deteriorate as far as Alzheimer's, dementia, the soul is never going to be harmed, and that's important to know. And how do you get through to the soul when the brain is kind of straight or mental illness? The heart, the heart. They feel love, so you communicate with the heart. Okay. There's a great movie you guys watched last night called The Sound of Metal, which is up for Best Picture. Really, really good. And Ahmad, my friend Ahmad, not my friend, but a great actor from Pakistan who did The Night Of. He's in it. He's probably going to win Best Actor. Okay. Candy Gardner, what do you think 1111 means if you keep seeing it? 1111. 1111 means new beginnings. Get ready for new beginnings. Change is about to begin. Yeah. Thanks, Jim. Wish I was kind as you. Thank you, sweetheart. Well, I'm just as kind as you. JVP, this is Kim Cardenas. I'm taking a spiritual life course coach now, and I can't wait to take your upcoming Mediumship 1 course. I'm praying you have it in the payment plan. It's on the payment plan. Yes, I'm going to mention it right now. Very good. Thank you, Kim. I want to talk about that because talking to the spirit world, keys to mediumship. So I want to help. A lot of people ask me how, again, like you guys, can I have a reading? How can I get a reading? How do I know my loved ones are around me? How can I communicate with them? And again, it's not that difficult if you know the right ways of doing it and the right space to be in. So this Friday night, I'm going to do a free promo type thing. It's a webinar. It's an interactive webinar this Friday. And it's at Friday, April 9th at 4 o'clock Pacific time. It's a free live interactive webinar about my Mediumship 1 course. So my Mediumship 1 course is up for sale in another week. And it's a great course, a great beginner course. And it's really about contacting spirit. Instead of those dreams, what are those dreams about? Have you used your dreams to contact spirit people? What insights can those dreams give you and guidance? How can you ask them to give you those guidance and the dreams? How do you come in touch with your guides? How do you know which guides to use for mediumship? How do you know to clear the space around you for the spirit to come in? Are you a magnet for signs and signals from heaven? Just like we saw with the flow, that sign. Once you open up your mind to an awareness, it's almost like taking blinders off, like taking sunglasses off, and your mind can be shown different things. Or I like to say, the spirit people take your mind and bring your attention to certain things, whether it's signs, whether it's words, whether people. So when you open yourself up, they can use you in ways that you've never expected, and it opens up your life in so many different ways, avenues, and not necessarily be a professional medium, but just be more open to that, and to be aware of who's in your space when you're walking down the street. If you see someone standing next to someone in the public, do you say something? You don't say something? I teach people about the ethics and responsibility of mediumship. How do you know it's not your own ego and that of spirit? What's the differential between the two? How do you discern? Hardest part of mediumship. I go through that in Mediumship 1. Do you see and hear spirits around friends, family members, and total strangers? And wonder what to do with it. Now, so many people have emailed me and Facebook me and Instagram me about mediumship. How can I contact spirit? How can I do this? I want to develop further. And for the heck of it, during COVID, I went around the web and the internet, and I looked up various courses people take, Mediumship courses. And sorry, I don't see any great ones out there, except for Arthur Findlay College in England, I love, and my friends Tony and Lynn, mediums I know who have quality mediumship. But a lot of stuff out there is crap. I'm sorry, complete utter crap. I saw some in an institution, and they don't know the difference between psychic and medium. I'm like, wait a minute. You're teaching people, and you don't know the difference between psychism and mediumship. And they call it psychic mediumship. Two different things. and they don't know the difference, and they're teaching people. So that kind of ticks me off. So this is a clear, honest, quality way of 40 years. I know what I'm doing here. I mean, gosh, makes me so angry when people put up that no integrity. Oh, so anyway, please join me this Friday. And Steve, of course, is for you, but it'll be a free webinar this Friday, and they'll answer questions. We'll do some readings. Talking to Spirit, your keys to mediumship, April 9th. This is Friday. Mark it down, 4 o'clock Pacific. Okay, it's going to be a Zoom. And Renee is going to put that on. Renee, you're going to put, there he is. Under my name there in the chat, this is James St. Prod. That's the link you want to click on that. I think you might have to get in the, I think Renee, you got to, yeah, if you click on that one, you'll get a space. You'll be in the seminar. I mean, I think there's a limited amount of spaces, so make sure you click on that to get in there. It's a free seminar this Friday. There you go. Thanks, Renee. Hello there, Alicia. Hello there. We like sorry people. This is Eileen. Like sorry people. Angels contact and wish to guide from loved ones. Thank you, Nathaniel James. Thank you, very sweetheart. I would say, Greg, Mediumship 1, because you've never worked with me before. Mediumship 1. Even a lot of my Mediumship 2 people, I'm telling them go back to Mediumship 1 because it's great fundamentals, grounding work. And even if you take Mediumship courses before, again, you've never worked with me on Mediumship 1. Mediumship 1 really sets a great foundation. Really, really does. As you know, I'm very down to earth. I'm very black and white. I only do this once a year, maybe 2 years, every 2 years. But yeah, please take one. And a medium, by the way, a medium who is very established in mediumship, unless they've been doing it 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, they should always be willing to learn. They need to go back always to the basics. Make sure they go back to the basics. It's very, very true. All of us. I do it. That's why I went on the internet trying to find different classes. And the ones I found, I was like, I'd like to go around I'd be known as I don't know. I'd go around, I'd love to go around the internet and go to these institutions and centers and people and just tear them apart if they weren't doing it right. And that sounds terrible. But I really would like the mediumship police, I guess. It would be like, how would you do that to people? What are you teaching? So a lot of people just jump into that without having any background. It's really annoying. Okay. Valerie, how do I know what to do when I'm able to see and feel people and communicate? That's others, but I have no control over it. And it's usually people that want to apologize about they're watching from where they are. So Valerie, you just answered your question in your question. How do I know what to do when I'm able to see and feel people and communicate that to others, but I have no control over it? You learn to control yourself over it. You take Mediumship 1. You learn how to control it. You learn how to be on top of it, that you're in control. They're not in control. You're in control. And that you have to learn that. You have to become aware of that. That's just a process. And it's an easy one. Once you get it, you're in. But no one should be enslaved to spirit. Never. Never. When people say, oh my God, it's just too much. It's like, please, then something's going on within you because you have to be grounded enough and you got to be aware of the space that you're in and that you control that space. You really do. Okay. Terry said, you told me a while ago that I had a lot of drama around me. I've really been working on it. Thank you. Good, Terry. Good for you, sweetheart. I'm glad you're working on it. It's good. Hope it's helping you. What is the link again for Friday? So, Renee, you can put that up again if you don't mind. Friday, 4 o'clock. There it is right there, sweetheart. Van Prague, the Zoom. Under my name in the chat room. Okay. There it is. Talk to Spirit. Yeah. Write that down if you're not. I would do the link, but. Good. You love the beard, medium, Jay Lane. Oh, thanks, Jay. Good to see you, Jay. I'm doing very well. Thank you. Hi from Germany. I love your books and I learned them so much. Thank you. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Renee. My dad died in 1992. I felt him every time life was hard for me. But the last 5 years, I didn't feel him. Is he good to heaven, to God? Nadine, he's still around you. He's moved on, different level, perhaps. And you could probably feel him and hear him if you want to just take time to be still. I often say sit in the stillness of your being, Nadine. You got to calm your mind down and calm it down. And do that with the breath. It's great doing it with the breath. Slowly in, two in, three out. Two in, three out. And bring yourself to stillness. I would suggest also, Nadine, for everyone here to want to open yourself up to spirit and being still, to put yourself in a closet. I put myself in a walk-in closet. And I sit 15 to 20 minutes a day. And I become aware of my breath. And as I do that every day, it expands a little bit more and more. And I'm aware that of the space all around me. I'm aware of my own energy within the body and the space around me. And then it's like layers of an onion, more, and the frequency of each layer. And then I see colors. And then I'm aware of energies in those spaces, my guides, my father, my mother, children. So that's a way of doing that. So Nadine, it helps you also, if you do that, sitting in stillness, everybody, it'll help you in everyday life to be gentle, not just like, be gentle, And we're living in a tough time. So it's a good time to go within, to learn to be gentle. Okay. Jay Lane, how is your husband, honey? I'd like to know. Give my love. Sandy, yes, Sandy Trow. A baby's born with physical problems so that the soul can learn lessons. Yes, very much so. They take those conditions on before they come into the incarnation. In the planning stage with your guides and teachers, they will, what's the optimum experiences, the conditions for that soul to evolve, and for everybody in that soul group to evolve. So it might be that this soul is choosing, taking physical conditions that the other soul group have to be involved in some way. Yes. Very much so. Hi, JP. Is it normal? I don't know what normal is. You're asking me to dream about the same place every night. It feels very comforting, and I usually can't wake up to go to sleep so I can be there. Well, Debbie, I've done that. I've thought of the same place I used to live in, and every night, and it was unresolved. So there were some feelings about that place that were unresolved, and I had to resolve those places. And as I look back at it, I realized I never had a chance to say goodbye to my house because I was touring. I never had a chance, and I was moved before I had a chance to say goodbye. So that was for me, and I still go back wanting healing that, or I love that space. So for me, it was that, sweetheart. So check the space and see any unresolved feelings, and you need to learn from that or send. Okay. Sue. Okay. When does a baby soul know what path it wants to take? When does a baby soul? Well, the soul knows before it comes into the incarnation, really. And the soul, and it's embedded within the soul being when this soul comes into that embryo, right? And the soul comes into the embryo, 7th to 8th month, it tries it out, goes in, checks it out, goes back out and in, back out and in. 9th, it stays a little bit longer. It's also at that time, it's telepathically talking to the mom, like be careful or drink a lot of water or whatever it might be. And then around the 10th month, it comes in and stays forever. The soul will come in and out of that baby embryo of the body from the crown chakra, goes into the top of the head. That's the soft spot. That's it heals. So the soul, ingrained in that soul, is that sense of, if you will, they know what their mission is to a point. So then we grow up, go through childhood, toddlers, very open, very clean, until we get around 7, 8 years of age, and we start being programmed by adults, by family, adults. And we kind of have to get more involved mentally, and we forget about the heart, right? The innocence, who we are, and we want to please people, get a whole pleasing thing. We get into that space, most of us. And it's at that point that I think it confuses the soul, and they want to please people, get a whole sense of pleasing people. And I think younger kids, when they get in that sense of wanting to please someone, but their inner soul is fighting, I got to be independent, I got to be myself, there's a problem. I think that the more one listens to their intuition, and if they're raised as a child listening to the intuition, honoring their intuition, the easier it will be for that soul to recognize its path and recognize its journey this time around. The more you use your intuition. So intuition is really the voice of the soul. It's going into that heart space. Soul is tucked neatly behind the heart. And the more you can use that instead of that head, use the heart, the more it's much easier for you to know the right choices to make in your life. Okay. Good to see you, Scott. Kim Ellis, is it possible to communicate with a past loved one when you are in a state of half sleep? Yes, very much so, Kim. We call it the twilight state. It's easier because you're not trying to control the state. You're not like there. So it's easier. Your guard is down, very much so. And mediumship too. When I'm teaching mediumship, I teach ways where you're in that kind of that twilight state, in the waking state, but your mind is in that twilight state, so it's easy for you to receive. So I'll be teaching that mediumship one. Okay. Okay. What does the afterlife appear to you? So you can share with us? Well, Patricia, it's different for everybody because everybody's sense of the afterlife is it's a world which you create based upon your belief system, your mindset. And for me, my world, my heaven be different than your world. Um, for me personally, I just see lovely. I see my meditations, and I do meditations, and it's always changing. It's always beyond colors that we have here in this realm, beyond those colors. It shapes and forms and buildings, and I don't know, people with robes, and I see a lot of philosophers, a lot of gold buildings. Yeah, very a complete place, a very natural place. I feel so foreign when I come back here after deep meditation. But I know that we got to work harder here to remember who we are, right? That we're souls having an experience, not the other way around. So that's important. Okay. Melissa, hello, and yes, I have a question, and that is, I figure that how you do talk to spirits. Can you talk with them in your mind? Because I did outside of my eyes closed with birds chirping. Yes, you do with your mind. Yes. Yes, you do it with your mind, thoughts in your mind. That's one way. There are different ways of communication. Some people hear spirit with their heart, so emotionally. Some will receive memories of things. Some receive feel tastes. Some see scenes of them. All different ways, sweetheart. So it depends upon your makeup, your soul makeup. And the mediumship, of course, we go through the various ways that resonate to you, to your soul. Okay. Sherry Blackman, hi James. Any pointers on controlling negative influences of emotion that is not one's own? Been just surrounded by very cold energy and emotion that I recognize not mine. Typically, I deal with this my whole life with refocusing, deep breathing, and becoming aware of my safety in the moment. Quite confusing and draining. It certainly is, Sherry. It's too hard and well, too long an answer to do it here, but it depends on many factors. I don't know what your life is like. I don't know who's in your life. I don't know how controlling you are. I don't know how you just, work with the energy in your space. Are you familiar with the energy of your space? Have you become connected with that? Um, I have a great course in my school, and it's tools for the highly sensitive. And I go into that in there as well, different shapes and spaces. And I don't like to feel a sense of being afraid or negative or evil. I don't believe in that. It's just a matter of getting awareness of your space. No one is there to hurt you. But again, I have to ask you, how do you look at things in your life? And where does that come from? Childhood, traumas. So it all depends. Everyone's very different. Okay. Yeah, that's the school right there. Oh, thanks, Renee. Right there. Sherry Gold. Our daughter died from a brutal murder almost 4 years ago, but I can't dream of her, and we were very close. Is there a way for me to contact her? Sure, Sherry. You can't try so hard. You've been trying way too hard. Come to me, come to me, come to me. So the more you do that, the more wall you're putting up. You're putting up a wall. And it's very normal, of course, that your mom wants to talk to her daughter, especially in that circumstance. But again, I'm going back to what I talked about earlier, by sitting in the stillness of your being, by really relaxing and letting go. And great one too, Sherry. It's interesting. Great. What a lesson that must be. Forgiveness for her murderer. I'm sure that's going to be a tough one for you, huh? It's a big one. It's an advanced one, but that's what it's about. So sit in your quiet of your being, and it's the best way, sweetheart. Start with the breath. Start with meditation, but don't say "come to me, come to me." Start first with yourself. Open up that space within you and around you. Let yourself relax, because you're very like you got to let go of that. Okay, all right. I just pick up things psychically by your names and singing. Okay. Grace, McShane, on April 21st, 2020, I had a CHF, I don't know what that means, and a heart attack, okay? And was placed in a deduced coma. Oh my God, for you guys. In the process, I can remember bits and pieces from watching above, huh? Yes, Grace McShane. You should go to, and everybody, if you're interested, go to Victor Zammit. Victor Zammit, Zammit. Victor Zammit, he's a lawyer for the afterlife, and he's out of Australia. And he has a newsletter every Friday. It's one of the best newsletters I've ever seen in metaphysics, near death experiences, out of body experiences. He really goes into incredible amounts of research that was done with out of body experiences, near death experiences, videos, interviews from the 1960s upwards. So check him out. That'll be great. That is a good one. And you can also, by the way, the more you study it and become aware of it, that might be something you get into become a professional about or a specialist in. These things happen for a reason. So check him out. Victor's on it. Okay. Helen Burroughs, what do the souls who have passed over do the majority of their time? Well, again, Helen, you're looking at it from a linear point of view. So you're looking at it from a human point of view. They're outside the human world, they're outside of time. So they don't do things with a time clock. But I will just tell you generally, the personalities you knew, many times they'll do things they've always wanted to do on the earth but weren't able to. For instance, they might want to have learned cooking but weren't able to. There, they can do that. Or learn how to play the piano or do music. They can do that there. Maybe they wanted to do artwork. There, they can do that. They can do everything their heart desires as long as they've earned it, see? And that's why it's called heaven. And many people go into, it's funny enough, genealogy, history, they go back to philosophy. Many will go back to battles, interested in battles, and they'll be able to go back there and see Napoleon and see different leaders, if you will. Aristotle, they go philosophy. They're all over there. That personality is there. So it's interesting because they can go visit these people, these leaders. And I've heard that many, many times that people just go talk to them about their experiences. And they don't look at that person like Napoleon and say, oh, Napoleon. It's not looked like that because the character of the earth, that role on the earth was of the earth. It's not that way in the spirit, but it's the role they played in the earth. Now, the makeup of that soul is still there, of course. The positive, negative, if you will, that's there. But many some people go learning. It's all about learning. They also tend to do missionary work. Now, missionary work, when I say missionary work, they tend to do their soul work, which means that, let's say somebody passes over with an overdose, and they will go to a school or they will go to a hospital type of place where they learn to open up their mind and work on their mind and see what caused the overdose or why they want to do the addiction, what forced them, why the condition of addiction came to them. What were they trying to learn or understand? And they go through that and then they start learning different aspects of it. And then what they do, they might be a guide for someone on the earth who still has an addiction because they know about it. They might be the receiving team of people that pass over with overdoses because they know what that experience is like. All different types of things. I mean, it's just so interesting. People that were very charitable on the earth, like Mother Teresa, they continue to do that over there. And they will go to what we call, there are many different realms and levels in the spirit world or spheres. And they tend to go to those lower spheres and try to bring those people up, try to open them up, try to bring light to those people. They might go to a place where it's very dark because people haven't forgiven someone or they're still angry or whatever it might be. And they try to bring their light to those places to bring change. They do that over there as well. It's very busy over there. I remember this story. I'll tell you this one story here. A grandmother, so I did a reading for a lady and her grandmother came through. I think it was a grandmother or aunt. And she asked her how she found herself over there. And the grandmother said, well, it was really quite strange, quite amazing. She said, when I first arrived, they brought me to, after I adapted, if you will, went to the funeral and the sort of family. I was then taken by my guide to a space that was a sphere, a lower sphere. Wasn't as nice and pretty, she said, but it was its own sphere, very physical. And she said, and I went to a hospital-like setting, and there was a man lying in the bed asleep, like in a coma. And my guide said to me, he cannot wake up until you forgive him. You need to forgive him in order for him to wake up and feel the love of this surrounding. And she looked at the man, and it was a Nazi soldier that killed her. So that was an interesting one. She did, yes, she did send him love, and he woke up and he cried. You know, we're all in it together. Who knows the conditions that were raised politically, the conditions that were there. I remember my friend Jordy and I we did a development circle around 9/11. I guess it was that year or the year after, and it was in my other house in the little room, and they're sitting around, and we're in this development circle, and all of a sudden I'm aware of this man on the floor, on his knees, looks like a beard, Middle Eastern looking, and he's looking at Jordy, and he's thanking her. So after we were all done with the circle, we all go around and see if anyone got anything. And when my turn, I said, yes, Georgie was a man, he was Middle Eastern, he was praying, and he's thanking you. She goes, oh, I understand that. She said, that was one of the hijackers. I prayed for the moment that plane hit because I knew everybody would not be praying for him. Interesting. Judgment, right? So it goes to teach you that it's just conditions of the mind that we're taking on politically or in this world. But the soul is pure. The soul is pure love. We forget that, see, through the different conditions. Okay, so I'm going to say one more time to you about this Friday. I'm looking forward. We're looking forward to this free gathering on Friday. So it's about mediumship. It's really about talking to the spirit world, the keys to mediumship, and it's this Friday at 4 o'clock Pacific time, 7 o'clock Eastern time, and around the world at different time. You'll have to find that one out, right? But we have the link there. Here we are. Okay. And I hope there you go. And I hope you'll join me and we'll have more insights. And I'll also do some messages that night as well. Show you about different ways of mediumship and how you can, I'll show you different methods of connecting in mediumship. That'll be teaching in Mediumship 1. Okay. Thanks, everybody. God bless you all. Lots of love. Bye-bye.